Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Stephen A. Williams, president and founder of the creditrepairshop.com. And in today's video, we're going to talk about how to stop a garnishment that is where a debt collector is actually taking money directly out of your bank account. I just recently got a email or a YouTube comment that a person woke up in the morning. I always talk about this. Wake up in the morning and bank account is totally empty, 100% empty. And there are things that you could do about it, but we also, there's things that you could do at the beginning to avoid that from happening. So right now, I need everyone to like this video, hit that notification bell. We want to get my views up. This stuff is very important. There's always somebody out there that needs this help. And if you are on this channel and you have credit issues, you better watch this video because this can happen to you, depending on the state that you live in. And also, it can happen in any state. It's just that in certain states, this is the option because they don't allow wage garnishments, but they do allow people to dip right into bank accounts, and they actually make it very easy. So I'm going to show you how you can, number one, be proactive and stop them from being able to garnish your money out of your bank account. And then number two, how to get your money back if you meet certain criteria. And then even if you don't meet that criteria, I'm going to show you how you can get some of your money back, because there are rules regarding debt collectors and even original creditors taking money out of your bank account to pay a debt. So, but before I get started, I need your support on this. I need your support on this. I want to talk about something about taking action. I always talk to you about taking action on your credit, on getting your credit repaired, taking action on getting out of debt, taking action on dealing with debt collectors with whatever level the debt collector is coming at you at, either at the beginning or if they're trying to sue you in court. It's always about taking action. Well, I also talk about taking action on other things that come towards us in our lives that maybe you don't feel like if you played a part in it or you did anything about it, that anything would get done. And I want to talk about some action that I took, and I didn't know that it was going to get the reaction that it did get, but I went ahead and just took action, taking a leap of faith that I could make a difference in something that was going to be happening here in our community. I was made recently aware of a liquor store trying to open up in our community, which there's nothing wrong with a liquor store opening up in the community. It's actually where one of my businesses is at. But this is the problem that I had with it, is that there's a daycare right next door. How can you open up a liquor store with a daycare that's literally, when you walk out the door, go to the end of the building, the next building right there connected is a daycare. And then actually right across the street is a daycare. And then right down the street is a school. And I told my wife, number one, I had, to the alderman that is in the area, I, put my, stated that I was against it. The daycare owners said that they were against it. Other people in the community said that they were against it. And but I said I wanted to take it a step further. I wanted to take more action. And I contacted every news station, and only one of the major news stations actually decided to do a story on it. And they actually came to my office and did an interview with me. And then they also went around to some other people, saw people walking with their children in this area. And everybody was against it, but I brought a lot of attention. Sometimes you never know what you can do, the difference that you can make by just bringing attention to stuff. And that's what I do here on these videos for the Credit Repair Shop, to help you with credit and debt, but also in our lives with helping other people, because I don't want to see those children coming out of their daycare or playing across the street or playing next door, and then there's people coming out with liquor or people, driving up quick. I just don't want to have it happen. I don't even want the repercussions of having that type of business across from one of my businesses. I just don't want it. If it was like a mall type area, I would be okay. But this is mainly a small business in residential. You know, this is not the type of area that I had at Apple. But the story about it, or the moral of the story, is that taking action gets stuff done. You don't always need to know what's going to happen. You don't need to know what's going to happen, because that's what stops people from taking action. What if I would have said, oh, they're not going to care, none of the news stations are going to care about it? No, that doesn't matter. You just got to take action. And so now let's get to this video here. This is very important. Either you are going to need this, or someone you know is going to need this. I've spoken before about the exemptions for being able to be garnished. In most states, debt collectors or original creditors can sue you and garnish your wages. In states that they cannot garnish your wages from your paycheck, these states are very aggressive on allowing debt collectors and original creditors to just go right into your bank account. So you can wake up in the morning and your money has been seized out of your bank account. So first, we're going to talk about the exemptions. I want to do a quick review of the exemptions, and I'm also going to go over some other exemptions. And then I'm going to tell you some options that you will have how you can get your money back if you have these exemptions, and even if you don't have the exemptions, how you can get some of your money back. So, garnishment exemptions. I always tell people you got to call and notify the debt collector or the plaintiff attorney about your situation, because this individual that wrote this comment to me on YouTube, and I hope that you're watching here, a lot of this could be resolved right at the beginning. If you are on any of these, you need to immediately call the plaintiff attorney and notify them about your situation, because they will stop doing what they have. They may get the judgment. I'm not saying that they won't do that, but 9 times out of 10, they won't even go for the judgment. They're just going to stop the case. They're just going to dismiss it or just pause it. But if they don't know your situation, that you are exempt, they're going to just come after you, because why wouldn't they come after you? So that's the reason why you have to do this. So if you're on SSI benefits, SSDI, which is disability income, Medicaid, child support, alimony, retirement, veterans, any earned income tax credit, if you have civil service or federal retirement and disability benefits, any military annuities, service member pay. A lot of people don't even know about that one. Railroad retirement benefits, financial assistance from FEMA, Federal Emergency Management Agency. Also, make sure to check with your state. There's other exemptions that may exist for your particular state, and I've talked about that also with my state of Wisconsin with the poverty guideline. So with the poverty guideline, that's where if you have a certain amount of dependents and you don't earn over a certain amount of money weekly, bi-weekly, or monthly with a salary, that they cannot garnish you even though you don't have any of these exemptions. In Wisconsin, we call it the poverty guideline. That's just the word that they give it. But in your state, it may be different. Also, in all states, even if you don't qualify under those guidelines, they can only garnish a certain percentage of your income. That's the only amount they could do it. But for this video, the purpose of this video is where people wake up in the morning and their money is just strictly gone. People would really be okay with taking 25% of their wages, rather than waking up in the morning and all the money is gone. But I'm going to tell you in this video, that is actually illegal for them to do it. And I'm going to show you how you get your money back. Now, let's talk about, okay, what to do. If your bank account has been garnished, you woke up in the morning, your money is gone. They have garnished your money out of your bank account. First, I want to let you know that it is 100% legal for them to be able to do it. This is the process that they do. They'll first get a garnishment, order. First they'll get a judgment order against you. Most people disregard the judgment because they're like, hey, there's nothing I could do. I don't have no money. I don't even, I didn't fight them. I just let it go. That's what most people do. 95% of all judgments are default judgments where people don't even show up. The other percentage is where people show up and they don't even exude their rights on what they're doing. And then 1% have a lawyer, and that lawyer doesn't really fight for them. They just try to figure out either bankruptcy or some type of debt settlement, which is not bad, but that's just where most people are at. It's a tiny percentage that actually fight and challenge everything that a debt collector does in those lawsuits. And that tiny fraction that takes action are the ones that end up getting those judgments or those lawsuits dismissed. So, but if they take the money from your account, now this is not in order, but you need to be aware of all of these. Maybe I should just go from the bottom. First, find out if you have any exemptions. You got to find out if you have any exemptions. You need to call them to see what is the rules to be able to get the judgment order vacated. Obviously, if you have exemptions, you could get it vacated. But if you don't have the exemptions that I just talked about, you're going to have to look at other options to be able to get it vacated. Maybe here are some things that come to mind. Maybe you did not get served properly. You had moved, you never got the documents. Maybe you did not respond. This is where most people are. They just did not respond. And now you want to take this stuff serious and you want to look at it and you want to say, hey, I want to fight this judgment. And then you could get it vacated and have your day in court. I watched this video on Harvard Business School, and they talked about this specific mindset that we all have. So you know that you had this potential lawsuit coming at you, and that might have gotten you a little bit awake, alert, but because they can't actually do nothing but just get that judgment against you, at that time, it didn't really mean too much about it. But then when they got that judgment and you tried to go out and get something and that judgment started to hurt you, it rose that alert level. But then when they were able to go and get the money out of your bank account, the alert level was so high, it was like a water busted in your apartment or your house or whatever. You got to take care of this now. And that's where I don't want people to be sitting at, because this stuff should be taken serious from the beginning. I had to learn a lesson on this, and I tried to get everybody to pay attention that anything dealing with your credit, anything dealing with your finances, you want to be able to jump on that right away, because you don't want that to be like a volcano that explodes and then all you're trying to do is put the fire out, which we know with a volcano, it doesn't happen. It's going to take time. And that's what it actually happens with this. You're going to have to go through all of this work to be able to get your money back, if potentially, or to be able to get to some type of resolution. So check your exemptions. If you have exemptions, you want to get it vacated. And then I'm going to skip this one right now because I'm going to get to this. This is very important. If you have exemptions, talk to the court about getting it vacated based off of what I just told you earlier. But also, if you had exemptions, you want to immediately call the attorney and let them know that you have these exemptions so they could get that money put back into your account. They will probably say, well, we didn't know. We tried to contact you, all of this stuff. But, you were disregarding those letters and those communications. So that is the quickest way to get your money back into your account. Most people will probably not fall into that category, even though the person who placed the comment on YouTube does fall into that category. But she said that she was only getting money from child support, a limited amount of money. So that would automatically be an exemption. Child support is one of the exemptions. But let's talk about what we could do if you don't have those. There's a rule that debt collectors and creditors don't want you to know about when you're being garnished of your wages out of your bank account. So this is the rule. This is the rule. I don't even know why I put a line. So this is the rule. And this is for all 50 states, so you don't have to worry about this. So say, for instance, that you're on SSI and they deposit $2,000 in your account monthly. I don't know why they write it out this way, but this is just the way that it's written out. A lot of this stuff is written out by people who never had to go through these experiences. So what they try to do is they try to play out all the different types of scenarios to be able to deal with people who are going to go through this type of situation. But basically, this is the rule. If you have $2,000 a month coming into your account and it's from SSI, they cannot touch none of it. So this is a no. But now say, for instance, you have SSI now this is the thing that they get access to. And it's crazy when I read about this and did more research on it. I didn't even know this part. So this is basically what they do is when a bank, they're going to actually get the order. And they have this process where they're going to look at how your account is receiving money. And what they'll do is they'll look at where the sources are, but they don't even always pay attention to that. But if it's something that that they will see as an exemption, they will stop it. But most of the time they don't. They just allow the money to be taken. But let's just say that you're on SSI and you have $2,000 come in, plus you have another $2,000 come in from working somewhere. So you have $4,000 in your account monthly. They see that pattern. How much of this money do you think that they're able to take? You're probably thinking that they're able to take the whole $2,000 out of that account. No, you are actually wrong. What the rule states is that they cannot touch this, and of this money here, they actually have to give you a worksheet to see what you need to be able to live on. It actually states it right here. If you go to the CFPB, who has taken over all of the rules on this stuff here, but it specifically says here, it says that if you receive $1,000 in Social Security and your bank account will see that $2,000 in Social Security was directly deposited in the last 2 months, the bank must allow you to use all $2,000. But if you receive $1,000 in Social Security and you have $3,000 in your account, the bank can freeze $1,000 of the $3,000. And the reason why is because there is a rule that they have to allow you to have money to live on. So even if, follow me here, even if you do not meet any of the other exemptions, your final backdrop, which will get you money back, is that if you ran yourself into this scenario of this money right here, you would be able to do a worksheet with them on the money. And they actually call it that, money to live on. They actually call it that, money to live on. You would work that out and you would say, okay, I need $1,500 to live on. I need, I do not know because I've not actually been in that situation. Everyone that I've worked with clients, have actually got all of their money back because they met exemptions or there was some issue where they got it vacated and they were able to get back in the court and then potentially they won or they did a settlement. But if you were to just play it out where they're going to be able to get that money every month, you would need to fill out a form with them and they would say, okay, you need this amount to live on and we're going to garnish this. But you know what's going to happen on month number 2. If you don't do anything, they're going to try to take all the money again and make you go through all the process. That's why it specifically states right here that if you go through this, and this is with the CFPB, if you go through something like this, the next month, you want to make sure that you have some sort of agreement in place and you just get them that money. You just get them the money. If you're not going to be able to do any exemptions, you're not going to be able to get it back open in court to get it vacated, you need to come up with an agreement that you can afford to do, because you do not want them dipping into your bank account all the time. Now, you might be saying, well, Steve, okay, how did they even know that I was putting money in my bank account? How did they even know? Well, this is how they knew. When this is exactly how they do it. So they will look at your credit reports. So this is how do they know your business? How do they know your business? That's a very good question. This is how they know. They look at your credit reports, and you could do this. And if you don't have your credit reports, this will be a great lesson for you. Go to the website www.scores.com. Do that for me. Do me a favor. www.your scores.com. Grab your credit reports and then come back and watch the end of this video here. This is what they do. They will look at your credit reports, and they will look at your income. They will look at your car payment. They will look at your credit cards. Any other loans, student loans, all of that stuff. That what they're doing is they're just getting data. And they're going to look at the payment dates. You know, when we teach with the credit card, with dealing with your credit cards, how you need to pay your payments on a certain date. Well, they're going to know that. They're going to look at that, and they're going to look at all your payment dates that you make stuff. So they're going to make an estimation on when you get your paycheck. This is what they're doing. This is how they find this out. They're looking at the payment dates. They're like, oh, this person gets paid on this date. So what they do is they set it up with the courts, get all the paperwork, and then they file it right before you're going to get your paycheck. And then you'll wake up in the morning and all of your money is gone. This is exactly how they do it. I'm telling you exactly how they do it. You don't want to have that happen to you. So be proactive. Be very proactive, because this is very disruptive to people. You don't want to wake up in the morning and they take your paycheck and you can't pay your car payment. You can't pay your credit cards. You can't pay your loans. You can't pay your student loans or whatever you got to do. You can't pay your mortgage or your rent. You can't do any of those, or your rent. You don't want to have that happen, because then look at what they've done. Remember I talked about that volcano? Look at what they have actually done. They take your paycheck, and what they've done, late. So they hurt you here, and now they hurt you with all of these people, and you have late payments. So they've actually made your situation worse. So that's why I want this to be top of mind. If you have any issues with your credit, with debt collectors, do something about it. If you have lawsuits coming at you, don't disregard them. If you live in a state that doesn't allow them to garnish your wages, don't disregard it, because this can happen to you. I get emails about this almost every day. People constantly watch the videos about unfreezing their bank accounts, about getting their money back out of their bank accounts from where debt collectors went into their bank account and levied the funds out of their account. Don't get into that situation. So I just showed you exactly how they do it, and exactly more repercussions of what will happen if you can't make those payments. Do you think that they're going to care that debt collector went and took your money out of there? Even if you get your money back, look at the damage that's happened. And then what happens when you're late on these? Then your credit score goes down. So you got late payments that's going to take 24 months to overcome. You got to fight to get your money back. Your credit scores drop. credit scores drop, and then you end up paying more money for the things that you do get approved for because your credit scores drop. And if you got credit card payments, if you got credit cards, what happens with credit cards? If they see that you're messing up with other credit cards, they see that you're messing up with other loans, they are the only ones, because these are open-end accounts, they can jack up your interest rate. So you're going to be paying more. So you might be saying, well, I'm not going to go get any more loans or anything. The credit card companies can jack up your interest rates based off of what's going on right here. So this is stuff that you can avoid if you have it top of mind and don't let it get to the point to where it blows up. You got to take action now. Just like I took action about the liquor store with the daycare. Yeah, you don't always know the outcome, but I'll tell you this, if you take action now, good things will happen, or you will be able to avoid some of the circumstances of not taking action. You don't want to be at the end and say, I wish I would have took action, when you can do that now. Be proactive. All right, if you need help with your credit, please visit us at thecreditrepairshop.com. Watch the video, What Makes Us Different, to see my 8-point validation process by two-phase settlement process. We don't promise overnight success. It takes work. It's going to take time depending on your specific situation. If you need your credit reports and scores, go to the website, your3scores.com. Grab your TransUnion, Equifax, Experian credit report. And this time when you look at those reports, I want you to look at how people or debt collection companies or companies that may be potentially trying to sue you to get your money, how they may be looking at your patterns so you can protect yourself. If you have debt collectors coming after you, grab my 3-pack of letters: statute of limitation, cease and desist collection activities letter, and debt validation letter. Use the one that's appropriate for your specific situation. I do ask for a donation when you get those. It just helps me monetize my time for making these important videos for you. But also, using those letters can literally stop this type of stuff from happening. It can stop debt collectors in their tracks early, which is what you want to do. Thank you for your time. Please subscribe to the channel, post your questions and comments, share this video. This is Stephen A.